Hello, welcome to this video. It's just a big question that's really playing on my mind at the moment. Is this everything that's happening in the world today, is that to do with spiritual growth? And some people should turn off at this point because they're going, what is spiritual growth? And that's fine because we're all allowed to have our own different viewpoint of the world. But I just want to run through a few things that I've noticed that go in succession actually, but there's lots of little innuendos in between these successions, so it's not actually the whole bigger picture, but there's things that really happen that people tend to just not notice. And I want to get angry, I want to scream at people, but I realise now that that's no good for me at all whatsoever. And I'll just precede this quickly with I did the Bhagavad Gita reading this weekend because it's an auspicious time to read the Bhagavad Gita, and I've read it twice before with these same readings, and this time, because I've been meditating so heavily, I've been getting into sound healing so heavily, every single word rang out to me from the book. And also I was seeing little bits of me, the shadow side of me, going, well, yeah, I'm still there, I'm still at that point. And it was a whole cleansing process of realizing what work I've done and the achievements that I've made as a spiritual human being, and partly because of what I've been looking into, and partly because of the higher energies that I've been getting with my meditation. I think that's so important to actually start to realize that as a human being. Otherwise you're just going to keep going round and round in the same circles, which is absolutely ridiculous and not good for you, not good for me, not good for anybody on the planet. So yeah, I did this reading, and also I was having discussions about what is the truth, what's the ultimate truth, and show me the truth. I used to be like that. I used to be exactly like that. Especially when I got into the conspiracy field, I go, show me the truth. I just need to know that. I want to know the truth. And there is only really one truth, and it's love. Love is the truth. And when you actually approach everything with love, compassion, empathy, coming from the heart chakra, that's the truth. And that comes from a higher source. And some people say God, or Krishna, or whatever you want to call it. It's a higher truth. It's there, and it never changes. So with that comes integrity, diligence, courteousness, respect, all those great words, morality, all of it all comes from these places. And when you hold on to these little things in the material world, it's like, yeah, I'm going to fight you about this. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want this anymore. Honestly, I've up to here with having intellectual discussions about all of this stuff because it's just so boring. I'm thinking all this is doing is tying me down to this so that I can intellectually prove to you what I'm talking about. And I'm starting to think I don't want to do that anymore. What I want to do is say, look at this. This is a gem. Why don't you go towards this? Look at that, by all means, and research it. And I urge you to research what I'm going to be talking about now. But it should take you to this gem here, and this is a beautiful gem that will lead you to a beautiful place. Here, I'm going down, down. So what really sprung to mind was a video on Eisenhower, the American president, when he was talking about letting the country be taken over by the military industrial complex. He's done many videos on it, and he said at that time, are we going to be like the looking after ourselves, i.e. have a army that's inside America, which is like a citizens army, where you've got volunteers training to defend the country, so that you can, every time you spend all this money on a bomber, you can actually build 60 schools in the country instead of building that bomber. And that was his thing all the way until he died. He said this is wrong, and he actually said close to his death, I've done this world, not just his country, this world, a great injustice by allowing us to be conditioned to accept war all the time, accepting war. Yeah, sometimes you need to fight, sometimes you do. A lot of people in the spiritual field say, don't get angry, don't fight. Of course there's times when you need to defend yourself, and that's ridiculous to say that you don't, because you do. And then there's times when people have chosen not to defend themselves because they're making a statement. It's not because it's the spiritual path, it's because they're making a statement. It's really clear to me, but not to everybody else. But Eisenhower gave this world over to the industrial military complex. And when you look seriously, I mean seriously, into 9/11, and I point you in the direction of Professor Judy Woods, where did the towers go? Just look at that again with fresh eyes. Just look at it, see what you think, and you'll go, what happened to that steel? How did she calls it dustification. How did it become dust? So was that a precursor for these endless wars now in the Middle East, 9/11? Was that a catalyst for it? Well, you answer that question for yourself. And have we been conditioned to accept war over and over and over again? I know I have. I know I was sucked into it. That war in Afghanistan, Kuwait, all of that stuff, I was sucked right into it. And then I pulled out and suddenly saw it for what it was. And I thought, oh my goodness me, I've completely changed my core values. Because I'm not a pacifist, because I do want peace. But that's another ism or ist that you're put into, another category that you're actually given by this whole meme that we live in, this Kali Yuga that we live in, this Maya, the illusory world, that you jump into another box. And that's what I found was quite fascinating, that I was in that box and I jumped back out of it quite quickly once I realized in it. So this is the question really for you, have we been hoodwinked by these people to have perpetual war? It's a really, really big question. So we go to 2008 now, the big financial crisis, right? Big financial crisis. Who caused the crisis? Well, the banks and the casino bankers and the people who were gambling with the money in the world. They were making up derivatives, they're making futures up, making all this stuff up. There's a great documentary you can watch called Inside Job. It was actually produced by Sony and narrated by Matt Damon, that shows you all the big players leading up to the 2008 crash. And all the big banks were involved, all the big companies who are supposed to be regulating all of this stuff, they were involved. All the regulators were involved. It was an incredible documentary. So that whole thing, do you think that the money situation and that we need money in our society is again another conditioning of how we're supposed to live on this planet? I think it's a great thing, money, because it's a great way of exchanging energy, and it's a great way of saying, well, I've got this, you want this, I want to give you this, you give me that energy back, rather than me creating a too good a karma by giving all this energy to you. I think it's quite it was a very good way of exchanging energy. How it's happened though, it's become a commodity. It's no longer an exchange of energy. Someone's just creating it out of thin air and getting you running around to pay it back. That's called madness. But that's only my opinion. You have a look into it yourself, into the central banking system, where you've got the three major banks, the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, and the Vatican Bank. Now we've got the European Central Bank. But the three major banks, they're all their own sovereign, independent countries inside their country. So, for instance, the City of London is not part of England, which is not part of the UK. It is its own independent sovereign country, the same as the District of Columbia. It's its own individual sovereign country. Don't take my word for it, look it up. Vatican Bank, the same thing. The Vatican is its own sovereign independent country. European Central Bank, I don't know. I'm not worried about this system to pay them off when they make their mistakes and get the taxpayers to pay for it. Same with the military industrial complex, same with the financial sector. And I'm not saying all people in this financial sector are bad. I know people in it who are really, really great people. So I'm not whitewashing anything. I'm just saying look into it. Look into it. Is that part of your spiritual growth, to let go of what we're holding on to, which is what's making this society so bad? And I'll come to a conclusion at the end of this. And the third thing now is the pharmaceutical industry. Very hot topic at the moment, as it's unraveling this whole 2-year thing that we've been in, which is only supposed to be 2 weeks to break the curve. 2 weeks to break the curve. As this unravels, you're seeing now, especially in the UK, it's coming out that the modelers are modeling on things that they're taking off the internet, which are not really well sourced pieces of information. Wikipedia, for instance, that's just come out recently, just before this video, before I made this video. You've also got people who are hiding the figures and the facts. And that's a fact now. You've got these brave doctors now popping up all over the place. There was one or two, now they're popping up all over the place. And now there's questions in political institutions, like especially in Southern Ireland, where they're saying, hang on a minute, is somebody profiting from this? Is somebody making lots of money out of this? Is this really a bigger issue as it is said to be? This is an enormous question, and if you detach from it and look at it with cold eyes, you go, that doesn't make sense to me. Get rid of the fear. It's the love. I'm talking about what is the ultimate truth, right? It's love, not fear, love. We love this fear. Have we been conditioned to jump into this fear? Have we? It's a big question. Jump into the fear and be go, oh, where's the answer? So you have the problem there. You have to try and find the answer outside of yourself. It's all in here. That's my conclusion to this. So have we been hoodwinked into the position that we are in at the moment? So let me just put it this way. I run my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. If I wanted the best possible outcome for my company, would I not try and get everybody to talk about my product? Big question. Would I not? And if I got everybody to talk about my product through lobbying millions and billions and trillions all over the world, and talking about my product by something that could have been created by somebody inside the organizations that I actually work with alongside, and they did what they did, and it all came up as everybody talking about my product, would that be the best thing for my company? Would it be the best thing? A big question, a really big question, and one we should all be looking at, thinking about inside of us. Would that be the right way to go? If you see a problem and you actually see that there might be a problem or an issue about that problem that might not be true, should we not be looking into that problem a little bit deeper rather than taking the surface speculation from that problem? What do you think? It's not up to me, it's what you think. I've got my own personal take on it, and my take is love. Right? It's love. Come from the heart, and then it releases everything. It releases everything. You don't have to go around angry, but you can actually make your case to say, actually, I haven't got the same faith in governments and corporations that you have. That's all I say. I haven't got that same faith. I'm sorry, I won't get into an argument or dispute about it, but I have not got that same faith. And that is actually written in the Vedas, the spiritual texts. And that is what Jesus Christ was talking about if you're a Christian. When he was in the desert with the devil, he said, I could give you all of this. What was he talking about? I could give you all of this. Was he talking about the desert? Was he talking about the party could be in control of the palm trees? Or no, he was talking about the Roman Empire. He was talking about the power that you sense or you feel like you have from the societies that are built up through human interactions. That's what the devil was talking about. If you're talking about other spiritual practices, they're all talking about this. Bhagavad Gita was brilliant. It's saying this is what happens when you live in the mode of ignorance. And you look in our society today, it's living in the mode of ignorance. It's not in the mode of passion. It's ignorance. It's fear. It's the opposite to love. It's fear. And that's why I feel I've had a real problem all my life living on this planet. So I'm trying to change that, and I am changing that, and I'm changing that with the people around me. Slowly, starting to build something up that's really great. If you want to get involved with that, you can check my websites out and see what I'm doing. There'll be links all over the place. You can find me, Peter Paul Parker. Just Google my name and you'll find me all over the place. So you can get involved with anything that I'm getting involved with. But I urge you, if you've watched this video, think about those three major tips, those three major sort of things that have happened. Think about yourself and your reaction to that. And your reaction to that will tell you a lot about yourself. A lot about yourself. Going, well, he's a madman. He's talking about these things that are happening that he's got a tin hat on. No, these are really happening, and nobody's actually looking at it. Nobody's looking at it. Have I got a tin hat on, or all these other people who are calling other people conspiracy theorists? got the tin hat on? That's another big question. Have they been conditioned so far to go back into their holes or the position that they sit from because they're too scared to come out and actually interact with the people who are actually speaking the truth? That's my point. Love is the truth. And I wish you love. We're coming up to Christmas. I wish you love, and I wish this to go away, and it will. It's slowly ebbing away. But the more you get involved with it, the quicker it will come in your life. The more you start to work inside, deal with yourself, look at yourself, work with yourself. Say, I don't agree with this, but I'm keeping my mouth shut because I don't want other people to think badly of me. But you can speak to other people without them thinking badly of you, to say, actually, I'm entitled to my opinion, and this is what I think. Please tell me that I'm wrong. Have a discussion. And that's what was brilliant about Thomas Jefferson and the creation of America, was that he said the power is in the middle ground. You discuss that middle ground, and when you find commonalities in that middle ground, you can start to build a democracy. Where's that gone? Where's my voice gone in this democracy? It's gone. It's disappeared. I can't see anybody in any political party actually representing what I feel, what I see, what I want for the world. No one. It's all on a little postage stamp about this big, where everybody sits in the same place. And they say they're having an argument about a debate. They're arguing something on the same sort of side of the debate, but just different layers of that side of the debate. It's not an actual open debate. So big questions I've asked today. Big questions. Please answer them for yourself. I've got to go. I've got another call to get on. Be well. Keep shining. Let that love shine in your heart. Bye for now.